The Lekki Free Trade Zone is witnessing a lot of infrastructural development as investors troop in to be counted. Now, while the increase in economic and commercial activities continue, the people of the community express mixed feelings over how they have been handled. The Lekki Free Trade Zone continues to attract investors in their numbers on account of its strategic location in the Ibeju-Lekki axis of Lagos. Its siting close to the lagoon and the sea is good news to business operators. The sprawling zone sits on a landmass of about 16,345 hectares, most of which were obtained from the original landowners. However, 9 coastal communities, which are among the original inhabitants of the area, expressed their growing frustration as they feel left out in the grand scheme of things. In 2007, an MOU was signed by the Lagos State Government, Lekki Worldwide, and representatives of the 9 communities, which include Idasho, Magbonshegun, Idotun, Allege, Okunraye, Imodibo, Itoke, Ilekuru, Tie, on what is expected of all the parties involved. However, these red markings on their walls by the state government asking them to vacate their land is generating tension amongst the people of Musa, part of Idasho. The locals say they may not have been well schooled, but they know the measurement of their area.
Our town starts from that palm tree to that container, where the container is. Now this is the survey for it. This area is our own we are talking about. This place now, this land is almost 3.08 acres of land. They said they want to take it from us. Yesterday we go to the meeting. They promised us that they will give us a land that can represent this one, but the land was not yet been shown to us. They said we should come and sign for a paper, and we refuse that to sign the paper because we have never seen the land. Until when you see the land before we sign the paper.
The leader of the community explains how the coming of the free trade zone has impoverished them, and now what is left is also being taken away from them without due compensation.
This place is 6 miles. 6 miles from here to water, 6 miles. Yeah, he take them from us for like this. It's 15 miles. He take them from us without no anything. He take police come arrest us at Idasho. Take police and soldier to drive away from our father's land.
At the Idasho community and beachfront, children busy themselves with various activities, while some of the adults take their nap. Those who went on fishing expedition returned with little or nothing to show for it. They also blame this on the disruption brought upon the waters by the free trade zone.
When they divide the area, then bring the road, dividing, which is we are happy for it. Okay, no. So later they now come again, then collect the left side, our side, which is we don't have access for 2 things to generate to find something to eat, which is farm and the river. So now it now remain the sea and the coconut to be eaten. Now since the this free zone now come to this place now to kill the fish now to eat, it's a problem.
Down the road is Tie, which directly sits opposite the gate of the free trade zone. It seems to enjoy a semblance of peace, but deep down there is uneasiness, as the lack of amenities such as roads and water stare them in the face despite being a host community to the free trade zone. They blame the management of the trade zone of neglect, intent to acquire their lands without due compensation, and lack of concern for their unemployed youth.
Today here we have about 1,400 hectares of land taken over by the Lagos State government. for Lekki Free Trade Zone project. And we are the immediate host. You can see the community how it is. You understand? So, we are having problem here.
The spokesperson of the community also claims that an MOU signed in the interest of all the parties in 2007 was not being complied with by the parties it was meant to protect. He alleges that the resettlement lands offered them by the Lagos State government were being sold to third parties by the members of the same committee set up to manage it, in connivance with some Lagos State government officials.
They know that our people are poor. The committee starts selling our land, then they brought some peanut to the people. When the layer was coming like this, they will come to the town and give them 5 million. At the end of the day, when they distribute it among themselves, so some people will get 30,000, 50,000, 20,000. No! That is fraud. That is not acceptable. Idasho has his own land. They have their own survey. We have our own survey. The whole land they took from us. So the committee should look at it, look what they can do. Or if they cannot get the land back, then we have our land is being given to Chinese here. Let them resettle us on our land.
The total landmass there is 16,345 hectares.
The Lekki Worldwide is a vehicle set up by the Lagos State government to manage the affairs of the Lekki Free Trade Zone and interface with all parties to the project. We visit the managing director, who sheds light on the disputed area in the community, the divisiveness of some of the people, issue of compensation, and a growing government frustration in dealing with various underhand activities going on in the area.
After the MOU was signed, it actually morphed into two, Orijeru and Mosa, right? Other communities have also morphed out of these ones that I spoke to you about, to the extent that right now there are claims that there are now 16 communities. But at the beginning, 9 communities were identified. In fact, in all the cases, the government has given land for some of these communities that have been displaced to resettle into, right? The government also, in the MOU, advocated the setting up of a resettlement committee that will be made up of 30% of community members, leaders, representatives of Lagos State, right? The representatives of the local government and Lekki Worldwide, right? Now, I think the community leader part of it was constituted as an association, right? And a C of O was actually given to the association. And the idea was, okay, association, please administer this land amongst your people. 375 hectares of land, 375, a total of 750 hectares was agreed. But then allegations started coming back years and years and years after, that the people that you gave C of O have been selling land. We do not have a place to go. Government, take us somewhere. And this was the kind of issue that led to Governor Sanwo-Olu summoning the meeting at Alausa, where he looked in, because the allegations got to him. He was aghast. We have to manage a lot of things, right? So the government, what the government has done is that association has been requested to stop selling land. The committee for all, for want of a name, has been disbanded by the government.
It dismisses the issue of lack of employment opportunities for the indigents of the community. He rather encourages them to hone their skills.
When cities abroad, when they bid for factories and for companies to come into their town, part of what they list out is the readiness of the workforce. If all the community members that want to work hone their skills in masonry, plumbing, electrical, the core building trades, there is more than enough work for them.
The Lekki Free Trade Zone, no doubt, is a project that has taken off with zero possibility of looking back. However, the interest of the locals must be taken into consideration because a growth in the economy of the state without a concomitant improvement in the lives of the people cannot be said to be the way forward. The state government has its work cut out. This can only get better with improved channels of communication.